Welcome to Film Decoded. In today's deep dive, we explore the 2022 documentary Lancaster, a powerful film that doesn't just recount history, but resurrects it. This isn't just about a plane, it's about memory, war, sacrifice, and the thin line between duty and destruction. The Avro Lancaster was more than a machine, it was a symbol, and for many, a final home in the sky. Directed by David Fairhead and Ann Palmer, Lancaster presents an emotional journey through time. With rare archival footage, gripping reenactments, and the voices of aging RAF veterans, the film tells the story of Britain's most successful bomber during World War II. From its engineering brilliance to the human cost it carried, Lancaster gives voice to the unsung men of Bomber Command. To understand Lancaster, we must first understand its context. The early years of World War II were desperate. Britain stood alone against Nazi Germany. The skies became the new front lines. While the Spitfire gained fame in daylight dogfights, the Lancaster worked in darkness. It flew at night, in formations, deep into enemy territory, carrying bombs meant to cripple German industry. The Lancaster was born from innovation. Developed from the failed Manchester bomber, the Avro team redesigned and refined its capabilities. It could fly higher, carry heavier loads, and deliver precise attacks. With 4 Rolls-Royce Merlin engines and a wingspan of over 100 feet, it was a giant of the sky. But it needed a crew, 7 men, often between the ages of 18 and 22. These young men formed tight-knit units: pilot, navigator, bomb aimer, flight engineer, wireless operator, and gunners. They trained together, flew together, and often died together. The mortality rate was staggering. Nearly 45% of Bomber Command airmen were killed. Every mission was a gamble. The odds were never fair. The documentary interviews surviving veterans who reflect on these missions with clarity and pain. Some recall the deafening engines, the icy cold, and the constant fear. Others remember moments of laughter, songs before missions, and the deep bond they shared. They didn't see themselves as heroes. They were doing a job, one they were trained to do. One of the defining missions highlighted in Lancaster is Operation Chastise, the Dambusters Raid of 1943. Using specially designed bouncing bombs, the Lancaster struck 3 key dams in Germany's Ruhr Valley. It was a daring mission, flying low over water, under fire, guided only by moonlight and nerves. Though the damage was significant, so was the loss. But Lancaster also asks harder questions. It explores controversial bombings like Dresden and Hamburg, where entire cities were destroyed and tens of thousands of civilians perished. Were these acts of strategic necessity or moral failure? The veterans don't give simple answers. Some express guilt, others defiance. All carry scars. The film balances emotion with history. Expert commentary from historians and military analysts helps place each mission in context. We learn how the bomber campaign was designed to break the enemy's capacity to fight, targeting railways, factories, oil depots. But the line between military target and civilian loss blurred. Visually, the documentary is stunning. The final airworthy Lancaster is filmed in sweeping 4K footage, flying over green hills and quiet fields. These shots contrast beautifully with black and white war reels of bombings, crashes, and flares lighting up the night. It's a collision of past and present, of memory and mourning. Narrated by the legendary Charles Dance, the film's tone is solemn, respectful, and reflective. His voice doesn't dramatize, it guides. It honors the veterans' testimonies and adds weight to the silences. In fact, it's the quietest moments, a tear, a pause, a long stare, that say the most. We also witness how the war changed these men. Some returned to civilian life and never spoke of their service. Others dedicated themselves to remembrance. Some couldn't escape the nightmares. One veteran confesses, "I see the faces, not of my crew, of the people below. I never saw them then, but I do now." The film also addresses the post-war silence around Bomber Command. Unlike the Army or Navy, bomber crews weren't widely celebrated, perhaps because their missions stirred unease. The public struggled to reconcile the valor of the men with the horror of their impact. Lancaster helps restore their dignity. As time passes, the number of surviving crew members dwindles. The documentary becomes a race against time to preserve their voices, their stories, their truths. It reminds us that memory is fragile, and that history, if not recorded with care, can fade or be rewritten. In its final act, Lancaster transitions from war to legacy. Today, the aircraft is no longer a weapon, but a relic, revered in museums, memorials, and flyovers. It serves not as a symbol of destruction, but of remembrance, a reminder of the sky's silence after the storm. Lancaster is more than a film. It's an elegy, a cinematic monument to courage, complexity, and consequence. It doesn't offer easy answers, but it offers the truth, raw, conflicted, and deeply human. If you've never heard of the Lancaster before, you won't forget it now. Thank you for watching Film Decoded. Subscribe for more in-depth film analysis, where we don't just watch movies, we uncover their meaning.